Welcome to the Career Management Podcast at Ivy Business School. We're excited to bring you stories and strategies from students, special guests, and the career management team. Make yourself comfortable, and let's get started. On today's podcast, you'll hear updates from the career management and corporate recruitment team, followed by an interview with one of our career peers, Cynthia. Here are your CM updates as we mosey into the month of November. In addition to individual club and recruiter events, Ivy Career Nights happened this week on the 4th and the 5th. Next week, we'll hear an update on how those went. HBA 1 students are currently doing career management essential courses. A few were happening last week. There's more to come throughout the month. And currently, our MSc, BA, and DM stream students have optional 3-on-1 mock interviews this week. It's a great opportunity to test out your own material while also learning from other students who are doing their mock interviews. Last but not least, there are plenty of appointments available for students at any stage of recruitment. If you're gearing up to recruit, either in November or the new year, we can help you explore resources such as the challenge cards, Clifton Strengths, how to leverage 1220 info, as well as document and interview preparation. For students actively recruiting, we can talk about networking strategies, mock interviews for behavioral interviews, which includes feedback on structure, content, and presentation, and of course, things like negotiating offers. For students who have landed, that's fantastic news. Please know that you can still strategize on what you want to learn from the experience or how the role fits into your bigger plans with a career coach. No matter where you're at in your journey or what the topic is, a coach is happy to support you. Switching gears, our corporate recruitment team just launched a really cool international opportunity, the HBA Career Trek to Big London, UK. Amanda's here today to tell us a bit more. Amanda, what's the trek all about?
Hey, Kate. Thanks so much for having me here. So to all of our current HBA 1 and HBA 2 students, if you have ever thought about living and working in the Big London, in London, UK, this is definitely the trip for you. So taking place over our February reading week, it will really be an opportunity for students to explore careers. So helping you to understand what it's like to live and work abroad, to build your network with alumni who are living and working in the UK, and ultimately to hear from those alumni how they were successful, whether it was launching an international career right post-graduation or pivoting from a North American market to working and living in London.
And this career trek is specifically for HBA 1 and HBA 2 students, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and it's a career exploration trip. As you mentioned, lots of opportunities to explore current opportunities as well as connect with folks living and working abroad.
That's right. Yeah, it's 4 days in London, and we'll have a series of firm visits and alumni activities. So first up, students will have the opportunity to do office tours, office visits with companies, and these companies are going to represent a wide range of industries, so everything from financial services, consulting, technology, and these are the companies that are really shaping the global business landscape. So you're going to be immersed in their office spaces, experience their company culture, you're going to have opportunities to network with a lot of Ivy alumni as well as other business representatives and really just get a feel of what we're doing. And so we're still working through finalizing our roster, but at this time, I'm happy to share we have Bain, we have Google, we have OTPP, EQT Exeter, and CVC Capital all confirmed to participate. So some really great global firms already kicking off and giving students an idea of what they can expect with the trek. And then in addition to company visits, we're also going to host 2 alumni events. So there's a dinner that we do, like a kickoff to the trek where we welcome alumni in. And then we do a pub social, which is a little bit more casual. And these activities are really all about alumni paying it forward. I was sharing with you before we started, Kate, one of the things I love about this trek the most is seeing how excited our alumni are to engage with our HBA students and share their experiences. So you're going to make really meaningful connections. You're going to hear from alumni. Again, they're going to give you advice. No questions are off the table. They are there to support you.
Fantastic. What does the trip cost and how can students apply if they're interested?
Yeah, well, again, great question. So if you have never been to London, I just want to say it's an incredible opportunity at a great great price. So students will be able to pay a deposit. It's $650 for the trip. That covers 4 nights accommodation, 4 full English breakfasts, so hot and cold options that we have at the hotel every morning, the kickoff dinner, and some light refreshments at the alumni social. Beyond that, it will be all of your students will be responsible for paying for flights, any transportation on the ground, and any personal expenses that they incur during the trip. And yeah, that's really great. Like I said, it's a great opportunity. We're going to be right in central London, in the hub of everything. There is downtime for students to be able to get out and explore. Again, a lot of opportunity for you to experience sort of the modern cityscapes and get an idea. So definitely something that they want to check out and apply for.
Tell me about applications.
Yes, so applications recently went live. There is a Learn page that you can check out everything related. We'll have FAQs. There'll be some details about the trek. The deadline to apply is November 17th, so don't delay. Keep in mind that space will be limited to 50 students, and that includes 50 students that could be HBA1s or HBA2s. And all students, when you're completing your application, you're going to be asked to commit that you are committing to attend all of the events that we plan, as well as tell us why you're interested in this trek, right? With limited space, we want to make sure that you're getting the most out of this. So let us know why you're interested in it and what you're hoping the experience will help you do when you think about your career long term.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Amanda.
Thanks, Kate. Good luck, everybody. Hope to see you in London.
We'll now hear from Cynthia. Cynthia shares her top tips for how to stay open and adaptable in recruitment planning. Cynthia, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for inviting me.
I'm excited for our conversation today, and I'd love to know, what are your top tips for current Ivy students?
Okay, so I am currently at HBA2, so recommendations for the HBA1s who are going through like the recruitings, finding their career path. I recommend you to be adaptable to challenges and changes, and also meanwhile maintain an open mindset to all the new possibilities. So if I have a whiteboard here, I will highlight 2 keywords. So adaptability and open-minded.
Cool. And Cynthia, I'll add there, I know you mentioned you're an HBA2, and we're thinking specifically about HBA1 students. That's a great tip for any of our Ivy students, whether it be HBA, MSc, MBA. But yeah, tell me more about, your journey and what helped you stay open and adaptable.
Okay, so I think I thought I am a finance girly. I'm like, I'm going to finance. And then I remember clearly that in high school, I was like, accounting, like I'm never going to go into accounting. But oops, like look at me now. I did a summer internship at one of the big fours and I'm currently pursuing my CPA. So if I told my younger self that you're going to accounting, I'm not sure whether I would be disappointed or shocked, but I think it's definitely something that I would totally not expect that. So you might wonder what happened? What has changed me from finance to accounting? So I started applying for an internship when I was my 3rd year, a little bit between summer of my 2nd year-ish. And that's when I realized that, it's a little bit hard if I wanted to go into finance directly, because as someone who did not have any prior internship experience or just any experience related to finance, it is hard to get my foot into this industry here. It is competitive, not gonna lie. Also, the market wasn't doing the best, and I have seen my classmates struggling with it. So don't worry, guys. We are all on the same page. You are not the only one who's been through this. And from there, I've been learned to this new role or new position, whatever you call this. It's called audit. It's a small sector of accounting, and it's not much affected by the economy right now. So I was like, okay, that sounds something that's really interesting. And it's also a good experience to have before you enter to the finance market. So my mindset have changed from I have to get into finance to, okay, maybe I don't need to get in there directly in one big steps, or as well as there are many other ways I can do this. I can get myself into the finance market, finance sectors, or a job in finance. Yeah.
Two things I want to point out about that, Cynthia. One is you mentioned that it was in your second year that you started looking at internships in finance. And for our listeners who, some may be interested in finance, many will be interested in other areas. Not every industry recruits at the same time frame. Finance does tend to recruit quite early.
Really early on.
So that's why you found yourself in that position. If you are new to Ivy, specifically our HBA2 or HBA1s, and thinking, I didn't start recruiting in second year, that is okay. These are all dependent on the industry. And also HBA1s who are interested in finance, sometimes you don't know those things before you get here. And, it's never too late to look at some of those options, thinking about what Cynthia did, thinking about pivoting and exploring. Not to mention, you will always have plenty of time after your Ivy career. But I just wanted to highlight for folks outside of finance, don't panic.
Yes.
Recruitment happens at many different times of year.
It's a year-round activity.
It sure is.
And it's also a lifetime, so you don't have to rush through it. Like, there is an information gap between, like, there might be people who already know this information, and then there are people who enter Ivy like me. I'm like, oh, I don't know this. I don't know what's happening, and people already start doing this. I'm like, okay, nobody ever told me that, so don't worry about it. Like, you're here, you're like learning new information, so good for you.
We recently in career management found out about a student group who has a podcast and kind of like I don't want to say it's a club, but a gathering of students called the Finance Haven. So if you check out thefinancehaven.com, that's a group of Ivy students who actually all got together, very similar to you, Cynthia, who didn't have that finance background before they got to Ivy and came together to try and streamline some resources and some information related to finance. So if you are a finance listener, the Finance Haven, those are Ivy students, and actually I think we're hoping to interview one of those folks coming up, so stay tuned.
Well, it's my first time hearing that, so learning something new every single day.
It's very, very new, so no, I'm glad we could share it. And coming back to the idea of your journey being centered around openness and adaptability, what helped you have or develop that flexibility and openness?
Yeah. Okay. So I think most people, even like for myself, we might have felt this like, oh, I'm not so comfortable stepping out of my comfort zone. Like, you might think like, what's the reason why behind it? I think most of the time it is because we lack of the information. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. That unpredictability piece is what causes us to like panic, to have anxieties. So what I recommend you to do is to collect as many information as you can. So a little bit story that I haven't really mentioned, but I'll bring it up right now. So it's during the summer of my second year. So what I have been doing during this time is a coffee chat. I don't know what caused me to coffee chat people from like different industry, different sectors, but I just did it. I don't know why I did that, but it's a good choice. So I talked to people in consulting, in finance, and also in accounting, even though I said I don't want to do accounting, but I still did it. And from there, I learned that like, okay, accounting is not just what I learned in high school. It's not that boring subject that's like debit on the left, credit on the right. It's not boring. And then CPA is not just accounting. There is actually a lot more fun. You get to do some taxation strategies. There is also like leadership piece or like teamwork piece of it. So I think what I wanted to say is that don't limit yourself with only looking to the path of, oh, I want to go into finance. I'm only going to search for information of the sectors. Maybe broaden up your choice at the beginning, having do a really vague and broad search. And then once you find your interest, you can be like, okay, I'm going to filter out some other sectors. So from there, from a really broad search of who am I going to coffee chat to, okay, I want to coffee chat people who are also having the same background as I am. For example, like people who might have already got a CPA or people who have done an audit internship, just to ask them like, oh, what was your experience? Like, why did you do CPA? And from there, you're able to learn what your future career path is going to be looking like. Kay has asked like, oh, so how did you stay open-minded? Well, find more information and then make yourself comfortable with all the information that you have so that you know what you can expect for the future.
It's fascinating that you mentioned that, Cynthia. Career Management was recently doing classes with our business analytics and our digital management students this week. And one of the things we talked about when you think about recruitment is sometimes we start with, okay, well, I have this type of degree or this type of course, therefore I need to find this type of job, this type of company, and then, move up that way. When in reality, it's very often flipped. Kind of like what you were saying. What kind of work do you enjoy doing? What kind of projects do you want to work on? What do you need to do to get there? Who are the people working on those challenges and those things? And then talking with them to learn more about their journey and kind of reverse engineering that path. And part of that is being open to new challenges, new people. And again, not being open to everything because there's not enough time in the day for that, but having a little bit of a sense of direction enough to say, no, I don't want to do this. What could I do with this? And then talking to people.
Yeah, as like I selected a few areas like consulting, like Ivy, we all love consulting. Finance, something that I wanted to do for long. Accounting, something I have done before. I was good at it, but never thought about a future path on it until pretty much recently.
But you knew you were good at it before.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Surprisingly, I'm good at accounting. I'm good at doing journal entries. But like as a career path, maybe no. But the thing is, like, whatever you have learned right now, that's not the whole image of this career. So just something that you gotta keep in mind.
Absolutely. Some students know what they're really good at coming in, but maybe feel for whatever reason that they can't make a career out of it or don't want to make a career out of it. Whereas there are also many students who come to Ivy and discover what they're good at or what they enjoy. And what you're good at and what you enjoy can be two different things. That's also okay. So again, that openness there. Cynthia, any last tips for our students?
Yeah, so like I said in the beginning, this is a really long journey. And I did say that, like, well, maybe you're not going to get there in one huge step. Maybe you're going to take 5 more steps than all the other people, but it is key to have that grit. So knowing that, believing in yourself and knowing that it will take a long time, but you will get there.
I love that point, Cynthia. One, that it kind of acknowledges that a lot of students do look around and compare themselves to other students.
Yes.
It's normal to do that. It can be really disheartening at times when it feels like so many people are moving forward or moving at a different pace than you, but also recognizing that we do that sometimes, bringing it back to your path, your journey, and what you can do for yourself.
Yes.
Thank you so much for taking the time to be here, Cynthia, today. It's been a pleasure to chat with you.
Thank you. And I hope this is helpful for all the audience who is listening to this.
Thank you for listening. If you are interested in connecting with Career Management, you can book a one-on-one appointment by visiting the 1220 Appointments tab online or by visiting our space at room 2235 in the Ivy Building at Western University. Take good care.